All right, this is Rook with Mostly Harmless, and we talked about the horse, how to farm it, and grow it on your farm. Now that you've grown it on your farm, you're going to bring it to a spot. This is in Westerly in the northern corner, but it could be anywhere. Anyways, this is the stable where you can easily craft it. But you're not here to see that. You're here to learn about the Destiny board. I don't know that I fully understand it, but I'm going to try and relay what Kodiak and Cami and others wanted the Guild to know and Pride. Vanity, a few of them were chatting about it and tried to educate me on it. I think I have a bit of a feel for it. Let's look at armor crafting because that seems to be the simplest. And there's probably three main points. One is the level of the gear is a horizontal, so going outwards from here, number basically. That it's something to keep in mind. So, for instance, plate boots fighters level 2. That makes this level 2 gear. That makes sense. Plate boot fighters level 3. So for armor, it just makes sense. And thanks again, Kodak, for explaining this. The tier, and this is pretty important. Well, there's two different things. One is the tier is always the level of crafting materials that's going to be required to make it. It's the and while there is a tier level, so this is tier 4, IV therefore, the power level for this makes it equivalent to a tier 5. So using these better resources, you can make a tier 4 piece of equipment that is the equivalent of a tier 5 item. So it's better, basically. So tiers are the horizontal progression. And generally speaking, that's more about the tier 4. Let's look up if you were to make an expert's plate boots level 2. Those are now tier 5 items. Of course, as you get further out, you can't make tier 4 items to start, so this might be tier 4 to start. But once you're on the, so that's what this is the third, no, sorry, that is the third level. Once you get to the 5th level, then probably not a big surprise that they're going to start at tier 5. Beyond level 4, they're going to start at the same tier as what they are. But these tier 5 boots are power level 9. They're equivalent to tier 9 boots, but you're going to pay with more expensive resources. And by more expensive, I mean resources that you're going to have to go out to 0-0, using Eve terms, that you're going to have to go to red territory, so the harder to find spots. So as you go further out, you're going to need to go into deeper, more dangerous territory. If you stay in the lower levels, you might not have to, but you're going to eventually, at the higher levels, require. Let's just show here. So these tier 6 boots, these are plate boot fighters level 3, and they're equivalent to power level 10 of a maximum of 14, require some expensive resources. So what else do you need to know about that? It gets more confusing. If you're not already confused, it gets more confusing with these weapons because the weapons become different types. So hammer fighter doesn't say hammer fighter level 1, it says hammer fighter, and then goes to pole hammer fighter. It goes to a totally different weapon, in this case a two-handed weapon. And one of the ways to tell that it's a two-handed weapon is the spells. You can see that this has pretty much the same spells as the one-handed hammer, so those are all the spells that I would typically get there, but now it adds this third optional spell, which is a whirlwind. It's the only option there, and then the usual stuff that you'll find for all the hammers. These are the passives, and you'll find that for all of the hammer in the hammer line. All of this is on Dodgen's Albion meta there. Really good job there of actually explaining what the tooltips don't necessarily have all the details for, and understandable, it's always changing and stuff, but he's dug into that. He's got it on Albion meta, so you can look there and try and find out more information about this. There is a lot to it, and it creates a lot of depth. If you're an Eve player, think of that tier 3 equipment, that it might be the same size, it might do similar damage types, but it does more of it and better, but you pay through your nose to get it. So how much are you willing to pay? And take a look at this. I'm just working on my hammer, and I've been working up through the tiers, and I want this level 5 Master's Hammer. I want to test out some stuff here in the alpha with it. Oh, let me show you what I was actually going to say. Level 1, 360. Easy. 1440 fame. Not so bad. Working on that next 1440 fame. Just playing an average amount. Now, if you go to a higher level hammer, say you want to go into this enchanted hammer fighter. So this is again a one-handed hammer, because it goes through a couple two-handeds there. 5,760 fame for the first tier. For the second tier, 23,000 fame. I'll say again, 23,000 fame instead of 1,400. Now it's better, don't get me wrong. It does more damage, 328 damage. It's got the spells the same, better damage. But so that was what, 328 damage we said? And at this first level, the Depth's Hammer, 143, 3 times the damage. That's kind of a no-brainer. However, at this tier 5, let's say Master's Hammer, it's doing about 217. So is it close enough? I don't know, but it sure is easy to get, or easier to get this kind of resource to make it. That tier 6 item is a tier 6 item, power level 6. So do you stick with simple and able to level it, and you've got it, and like that I'll have well before I even hit the tier 2 of the other, and I do have to get there anyways, so I'm not sure what the answer is there. That's stuff that the guild has to explore, and even if we did tell, while these videos are just for the guild, other people are going to view some of these, so we wouldn't necessarily share that all there. Anyways, hope this helps. Oh, and of course this main line is, I was going to show this earlier, I just unlocked maybe this one, the mounts and stuff. You can get better horses, you get better bags and stuff you can open. Oh, I guess I just unlocked this one. So that means that Saddle Direwolf. That could be cool. A lot of different things in this game. It's still under development. We're not happy right now with the grind. There's so much silver you need to get. There feels like so much fame you need to get for certain items. And the discrepancy between the gears means that basically if I'm going to only play a few hours a week, there's no point, because I'll never be able to compete with someone else because the percentage differences are so high. Whereas maybe in Eve, they only got maybe 5%, 10% more. The differences weren't quite as big. Another issue, but hope that helps the Destiny board. Fori has a great video. He's done some earlier work on this, so certainly check that out. This is Rook with Mostly Harmless, and we'll see you out on the battlefield. Thanks, Mr. Beer.